Hello, everyone. I am delighted to welcome you to yet another bite-sized edition of L&D Superfood, an exclusive series by ETHR World. Much like a superfood, small in size, high in impact, this series delivers powerful insights and practical strategies from the sharpest minds in learning and development, designed to energize your thinking and fuel future-ready learning. This special edition is curated to spotlight the distinguished speakers of the Future Skills Conference 2025, where the theme is the evolution of AI-powered learning. Joining us today is one of the esteemed speakers who will be sharing her rich cross-sector experience at the summit, a leader who brings depth and heart to the world of people development. Please join me in welcoming Hemalakshmi Raju, Chief Learning Officer and Leader, Diversity and Inclusion at Reliance Industries Limited, Hydrocarbon Business. Thanks, Hema. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Lord Sharon. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
It's a real pleasure to have you with us for this special edition of L&D Superfood, Hema. So just to start things off, I want to ask you, Hema, in an era where everything is evolving, tech, talent, timelines, you name it, what's that one timeless value or belief that you believe still anchors your approach to learning and development?
A very powerful question as we get started with this. To me, I would say it is growth. I believe all of us have an innate ability to keep growing, and it's also a need that we must grow. In fact, if you look at our motto here in Reliance, it's growth is life, which applies to everyone. And if I have to look at the domain that I'm a part of, learning and development, it's grown phenomenally over the last few decades. When I started out as a learning professional, e-learning was an innovation at that point of time, which used to come in as CBTs. From there, if you see where we are today, it's been a phenomenal, significant growth. And to me, if growth is a basic value that guides every individual, this function is an enabler for that. Learning basically helps individuals, teams, and organizations to keep growing. And that is a very strong value which has guided me and will continue to guide me in this field and beyond.
Thank you for sharing that. Such an interesting perspective, considering, you have such a vast experience and you've actually firsthand witnessed the growth of learning and how just how quick it has been. My next question, since Reliance Industries operates on a vast scale with such a diverse workforce spread across, functions and locations, how does your organization facilitate continuous learning for such a varied talent pool without overwhelming them?
You said it, Shireen, it's such a diverse organization, be it with respect to geographical location, the kind of backgrounds that people come from, the educational backgrounds. Look at it from any perspective, it's a very diverse organization. The generational diversity, we talk about five different generations working together. Now, the belief which is, kind of getting us to anchor learning for such a large and diverse population is learning democratization. And in fact, the chairman spoke about democratizing learning much before the world could talk about it. It's about making learning accessible to all employees. It's about the onus of learning lying with the employees. You don't need anyone to drive it for you. You take charge of your learning. Spectrum, which is an annual learning festival, which is all about building a culture of learning, was started 9 years ago. It will step into its 10th edition this year. Was around this whole purpose of how do we shift the responsibility and the onus onto learners. And this belief has led us to making learning accessible easily for employees, be it the online learning tools that are available in abundance. So, as and when I want to learn, be it at the point of need or anytime I want to learn, I don't have to wait for somebody to deliver for that learning. While we do offer, structured learning sessions as well, I'm not saying we're not doing that at all, but I don't have to wait for that. I can access learning, and in fact, one of a masterpiece of learning democratization that we launched recently is a democratized mentoring platform because we often learn from others. We reach out to seniors, we reach out to mentors, we reach out to youngsters. Learning is 360 today. We need reverse mentoring as well. And mentoring has always been happening. Mentoring per se is not new, but I was limited by my visibility. I would reach out to mentors in my own area, in my own site, in my own location. But what this platform has done is it's thrown open abundant possibilities. I can be sitting in Mumbai, but I can reach out to a mentor in Jamnagar and get mentored by that individual. Suddenly, all boundaries, be it functional boundaries, generational boundaries, locational boundaries, have come down. So, to put in a nutshell, How do we ensure continuous learning? Is by democratizing learning, making learning available anywhere, anytime, not constrained by place and time, is how learning happens for us.
Thanks for sharing that perspective and talking about how important it is to keep diversity in mind while striving for continuous learning processes. So, as you mentioned, youngsters in your previous answers, I just wanted to know that with Gen Z now entering the workforce, this is a generation known for its digital fluency and unique career aspirations. So, how are you reimagining learning experiences to align with their expectations? And are there any particular approaches or technologies that you found successful in engaging this new generation?
Wonderful. So, as I mentioned, we have five generations working together, and the generational mix is changing drastically. Just about 3, 4 years back, just about 40% of our employees were from Gen Y and Gen Z. That's now increased to 60, 65%. So, you have a huge amount of youngsters coming into the organization, while this is a sizable pool of Gen X and beyond as well. So we believe in the concept of 360-degree learning. Learning is not unidimensional. Traditionally, we used to think there are a set of experts, there are a set of seniors by virtue of their experience and expertise can drive learning for the others, whereas that's not the case anymore. As you mentioned, your youngsters tend to be digital natives. They're very, very savvy with respect to digital technologies. So we leverage reverse mentoring in a very powerful way. So we started that way back in 2019. So if somebody, somebody belonging to something like a Gen X like me is wanting to learn about technologies, while they do it on their own, but we also have structured platforms to help them with that. That's about how do we get youngsters also to impart their knowledge. But if you look at how do we get them to learn, again, what we clearly see is that they clearly want to know the purpose of learning. Why should I learn this? Why is it important for me? Is very, very important for them. And how do we make it immersive and experiential? So we ensure personalization. It's about hyper personalization. We ensure we give them what they want. If you look at our young, campus hires, they indicated communication is an important skill which they need to build. How do you communicate to different stakeholders? So there are interventions around that. So one is around give them just what they want. Second is also about how do we make the experience different? How do you bring in an element of competition, gamification into that learning? Which is where we follow certain non-traditional formats. It's not just about education. We have, we run an org-wide quiz competition wherein we see a lot of participation of youngsters coming. Uh, Participating in a round of quiz gets them to learn what they wouldn't have learned even by going 3 or 6 months course, because I need to participate and I need to win is a drive which is there. We have idea hackathons which we run for them. So again, it's about bringing in an element of competition and gamification into learning, which gets them to learn, making learning tools accessible anywhere, anytime. Let me choose what I want to learn when I want to learn. Making that possible is also something which is enabling. And as I mentioned, mentoring. A lot of youngsters are also wanting to learn from the expertise, experience of senior seasoned professionals. So mentoring and another form that we have given through by democratizing it is also something which has helped them keep learning on a continuous basis.
Yeah, that's a really important perspective. I think, especially with such a vast workforce that you have, such a diverse, as you said, spanning 5 generations. So I think it's really important to take care of each and every one of them, especially the newest ones. So now we're moving on to our rapid fire round, and I'll start with my quick question. What's that one mindset shift that every L&D leader must embrace in 2025, according to you?
To me, it's letting go. Don't hold on to your age old approaches and methodologies. Let go and embrace the new.
I think a lot of people are going to relate to that. Next question is that if you could use AI to solve one L&D challenge instantly, what do you think it would be?
It's hyper personalization. Can, kind of technology give each individual just what they want?
That's a good answer. So, on a personal note, is there a movie or a book that surprisingly taught you something about leadership or growth? And would you like to mention it here?
It's a book. In fact, I love reading. That's one of my favorite hobbies, and I like biographies a lot. So I happened to read The Promised Nation by Obama some years back. And to me, that's the most powerful lesson on leadership, because my key takeaway there was that it's not about positional power. The person is the most powerful person on the earth, but it's not about positional power. It's about the power of influence to drive the agenda. So that's my favorite book, and a lot that I learned from there.
So, thank you so much, Hema, for being a part of this. And now to our viewers, we hope this session gave you a strong dose of inspiration and practical takeaways to apply within your own learning ecosystems. And this conversation is a perfect preview of the impactful dialogues we are set to host at the Future Skills Conference in 2025, happening on the 11th of June at JW Marriott, Sahar, Mumbai. As one of our featured speakers, Hema will be joining other trailblazers to explore the evolution of AI-powered learning and the future of workforce development. So if today's session sparked some ideas within you, don't miss the chance to experience it all live. Until then, keep learning and keep growing.